Hey there, spooky nerds. Aaron Sagers here, host of the Talking Strange Show on the Den of Geek network, and this is the Talking Strange Seasons Screamings gift guide. So why Seasons Screamings? So glad you asked. Before it was Christmas, it was midwinter, solstice, Sol Invictus, Yule, and Saturnalia. It was the longest night of the year in the northern hemisphere, and a time when the veil between the living and the dead was at its thinnest. It was a time of death and rebirth, and a time of monsters, ghosts, and ghouls. So with that in mind, we're bringing you some items that I'm going to suggest you pick up for all the spooky nerds in your life, or maybe keep for yourself, to make this the most wonderfully creepy time of the year. From our friends at GhostStop.com, the ghost hunting equipment store, and let's face it, incredible inventors, we have this Spirit Box ghost hunting kit coming in at $225. Now let's take a look at what is inside here. We have this Rich Watch EVP recorder. So all of you folks that are collecting audio on your paranormal investigations, this bad boy is a really helpful tool because it is constantly recording, which allows for redundancy as you're also recording on other devices, and you don't have to fiddle with this throughout the night. So as it's recording, you're not shuffling and making a lot of undue noise. We've also got the Rook EMF meter that comes in this nice padded carrying case with a belt loop. And this Rook EMF meter detects minor changes in electromagnetic fields. It also lights up and makes noises. It also looks pretty darn cool, like something out of Star Trek, something a Klingon would be carrying around, but a necessary device for your paranormal investigations. Also in the kit, we have the S-Box Ghost Scanner. Now, this is a really helpful device. There you go. And the notion behind this is it sweeps radio frequencies, but it's also recording. And the theory is that a potential spirit during a paranormal investigation might be able to project their voice through as this is constantly sweeping through all of these radio stations at a very fast clip. It's a really important device and comes in quite handy on your investigations. And then we have a flashlight because, well, you're poking around in the dark, literally and figuratively, so you're going to need some light. And there is the option of getting all of this in this nice, handy-dandy padded equipment case to carry around with you. But Ghost Stop has something that I consider a very sweet device, which is called the Dead Bell. Now, this is just such a exquisite device for paranormal investigations, and it harkens back to ghost hunting from Victorian times, but brings it into the modern era. So this handcrafted box, made of real wood, and you can tell that this thing has been handcrafted. We have an EMF meter and proximity device on the bell, but it also works as a classic hotel or waiting desk bell. So if you're in a location where I'm not triggering that right now, where maybe you're inviting a spirit forward to communicate with you, it might be triggered in this way that could be familiar to an older ghost. Speaking of older, I don't know what's happening right here, but the building that we're filming in New York City is quite old, so maybe someone wants to check into this old hotel. So for the Dead Bell, the ghost hunting kit, and this sweet hat, and all of your ghost hunting needs, just head to GhostStop.com. Up next on the Talking Strange Season Screamings gift guide, we have some goodies from SuperSeven. I love SuperSeven. They are a premier pop culture collectibles company. And what's great about them is these guys, they did not see the collectibles and toys out there, so they decided we're going to make it ourselves. So we've got deluxe and vintage collectibles and figures, including ghastly, glowing horror action figures. Now these puppies each go for $25 each, or you can get the bundle for $100. And we have a Radium Man, radioactive, glows in the dark. Also glows in the dark is Commander Ben Woodruff from Ghostly Weird Stories. We have a seaweed monster and a graveyard ghoul. So why not get the whole batch so you have a bunch of horror action figures hanging out together? You're going to recognize is this guy over here? He's our friend to the end. He's a good guy doll, but he's soaked in blood. This is homicidal Chucky from Child's Play 2, and the figure also comes with a blood-soaked dagger, so he's getting into all sorts of bad business. So put this guy under the tree. And we've got Reagan. On December 26, 1973, 50 years ago, The Exorcist opened, and the horror genre and cinema in general has not been the same since. So put Reagan on your gift list under your Christmas tree because she glows in the dark. She comes with her own cross. And, you know, when you get this figure and then you see her head spinning in the middle of the night on her own, you're going to know it's Pazuzu and not St. Nicholas that's paying you a visit. Every season Screaming's gift guide needs a monster, and SuperSeven delivers because no man, beast, or city can withstand the high temperature, withering assault of Heat Ray Godzilla. For $85 from SuperSeven, this highly articulated figure comes with a bunch of accessories, which, how about we open the box and see what Gojira comes with? This 7-inch Toho Ultimates Heat Ray Godzilla is as gorgeous as he is monstrous. The Feared Leviathan has just countless points of articulation. This is incredibly articulate. A really detailed paint job. The sculpt itself is just got so many little nuances to it. I love it. And it really reminds me of the 1989 film Godzilla vs. Biollante. And to add even more sweetness to this, we have multiple interchangeable Godzilla hands and this interchangeable Godzilla head, which has him spewing his high temperature heat ray, and it has a glow in the dark feature with this. So I don't know, I definitely need him stomping around my Christmas tree this December. That's a terrible Godzilla noise. Before there was Annabelle, before there was Chucky, there was Robert. Robert the doll, the haunted doll that comes to us from Key West, Florida, and has a legitimate history going back to the early 1900s, was the property of artist Robert Eugene Otto. Supposedly, Robert the doll would move around on his own and stir up all sorts of mischief. And now you can have a mini Robert yourself. From the Key West Art and Historic Society, we have the Robert the Doll Supreme set for $75. Now, the real Robert is on display at the Fort East Martello Museum. You can bring home this mini Robert, and it comes with his cute little buddy Leo in this collector's box, which also includes a postcard and an autographed copy of the Robert the Doll book by well-known Key West author David L. Sloan. But if you do unleash Robert in your home this holiday, if he causes some mischief, you're going to have to say, Robert did it. For the Talking Strange Season Screaming's gift guide, I knew I had to include some items from Roosevelt's, who are changing the game in geek and fandom attire, and I brought along some items from Star Wars. So why are Star Wars being featured in a paranormal gift guide, you might ask? Because we've got ghosts, we got monsters, we've got psychic abilities, and we've got some just frankly awesome designs. So I've got right here a Gamorrean Guard snapback hat with a really cool design underneath, and there's also a Rancor Rampage to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, one of my favorite monsters from the Star Wars franchise, and some cool designs under that. An Ewok who is banging the drums on some stormtrooper helmets. And let's face it, Ewoks, they're man-eaters. They love to eat those humans. And Roosevelt's also has some Star Wars holiday shirts, and I'm wearing one right here, which has some happy little at-ats on it, and got Darth Vader moving around there. But to be inclusive, they also have a Festival of the Lightsabers shirt, because you should be the spark that ignites the lights this Hanukkah season. And this cool shirt has designs of R2. We've got a menorah topped with lightsabers. It's really cool, and it's a great color too. So Roosevelt's has you all set for a holiday and Return of the Jedi swag for this season Screaming. I am a big book reader, and this season Screaming's gift guide would not be complete without some great books, and we're going to kick it off with Jeff Belanger's The Fright Before Christmas, Surviving Krampus and Other Yuletide Monsters. Now, Jeff is well known in the paranormal world. He's a renowned author, and this book is really just gorgeously presented with a lot of amazing illustrations, and it walks us through the folklore and legends of Christmas and seasonal monsters like Krampus, like Grilla, who will drag you back to her mountain lair and eat children. We've got the Yule Cat, we've got the Christmas goblins, so much inside this book and more. Gorgeous gift and gorgeously presented by Jeff Belanger, The Fright Before Christmas. Next up, we have We Are Not Alone by Mark Hartzman, and this is a great gift because it's for fans of extraterrestrials, UFOs, both people that are very familiar with the material or coming at it with a fresh look. This includes scientific evidence, stories of cover-ups, military actions. It's got it all, and it really walks us through the modern history of UFOs or UAPs, if you prefer, and all of the stories and cases connected to it. Great book, easy to read, and makes for a great gift. I'm also going to recommend The Exorcist Effect by Joseph Laycock and Eric Harrelson. These guys have been guests on the Talking Strange show, and The Exorcist is celebrating its 50th anniversary. And these authors really take a look at the impact of this film and other films like Rosemary's Baby and The Omen on pop culture, but also on belief writ large, an impact that continues to ripple forward 50 years later. This is dense. It contains a lot of information, but it's easy to access and really keeps you coming back for more. And it even gets into some paranormal TV elements and talks about heavy metal and the satanic panic. Great book and worth adding to your Christmas guide list. We also have A Life with Ghosts by Steve Gonsalves, who you know and love from Ghost Hunters, a long-running show on the Sci-Fi Network, then Ghost Nation, Ghost Hunters Academy, and the Ghost Hunters Revival on Travel Channel and Discovery Plus. As Steve has so many stories, he's been on thousands of investigations, he's had 300 hours of TV only in the paranormal space alone, and in the book he talks about his investigative tactics, some evidence that he's picked up on, some history, but also fun and funny anecdotes from his time out in the field. Steve is such a likable guy and a big-time horror nerd, which I love about him. So this is a good one to add to the list for any of the fans out there that love paranormal reality TV and like what Steve does. And last but not least, on the Season Screamings gift guide list for all you readers out there, we have Goodbye, Hello by Adam Berry. Now, similar to Steve, you know and love Adam from Ghost Hunters Academy, as well as Kindred Spirits, where he serves as a co-host and executive producer. What makes this book really interesting to me is that it is a touching and frank look at grief and the afterlife, and it combines investigative tactics and research along with an examination of death and dying, a topic that we try to avoid but is literally surrounding us at all times. But with that said, it's not a glum or gloomy book. In fact, it is quite heartwarming. And additionally, Adam is a leader in the LGBTQ plus community, in the paranormal community. So that is a unique perspective that we do not get enough of. So highly recommend this one as well for your Season Screamings readers. And those are just 5 books that cover a range of topics for all of the spooky nerds and paranormal enthusiasts on your Season Screamings gift list. So this holiday season, it's probably a good bet that either yourself or someone in your life is a fan of spooky stuff, but they like to keep it classy and cool, as well as maybe a little bit creepy, which brings us to Herodan handcrafted vodka. And I wanted to include a couple items from Herodan on this gift guide. So right here, we have the Herodan vodka gift tube, the Spirit of Defiance, and this is a lovely gift box. And you pull it out, and look at this bottle of vodka. Now, Herodan Vodka celebrates mysticism and the occult and supernatural and the paranormal, but also does it in a way that's a Valentine to Victorian spiritualism. And this company is run by women. It's a New York brand. So speaking of the spirits, well, the spirit inside of the Herodan bottle, it's 100% certified organically, locally grown corn. It's naturally gluten-free, but it's actually really good. It's got a complex flavor profile, which really sets it apart from neutral vodkas on the market, and was named Best Vodka by Rolling Stone and Best Top Shelf Vodka by GQ. So we're talking about not just a good-looking product, but a good-tasting one. All of the classic bottles that are purchased on the shopherodan.com site come in this luxe-looking gift tube that resembles whiskey packaging, which makes it really kind of classy looking. And you can get all of that for $59 for the bottle, and that's, I think, $75 after tax and shipping. So Herodan Vodka, but we're not done there, because we also have the Herodan cardigan. But what I love about it is, in addition to the Herodan H, on the back, we have the very sweet saying of a cult following. So you guys that are fans of Talking Strange, you know that I am a big tiki nerd. I love the cocktails, I love the culture, I love the lifestyle, I love the apparel, and Geeky Tiki's has been killing it with so many different kinds of mugs out there, including a lot of monster mugs. Right here we have this hand-painted zombie mug, gorgeously crafted. You can get that on the Geeky Tiki website, as well as at other retailers such as Toink and Entertainment Earth. Monster creatures, mythical creatures such as this lovely little Cyclops there. Now, Cthulhu, we've got Medusa, but my heart really rests with the Gill Man. He is a creature. He may or may not be from a lagoon that is also black. I don't know, but I do know that Geeky Tiki's also sells this gorgeous shirt, beautiful artwork on it, and it is a true tiki shirt, a true aloha shirt. And the way you know that is we've got these nice bamboo buttons. We've got a pattern matching left breast. That means that the pocket matches the pattern underneath. And this limited edition Gillman shirt also comes with a Gillman enamel pin. So when you're making up those paranormally perfect cocktails, you want to do it in a Geeky Tiki mug. When you're making your holiday purchases, I think that it is perfect to support artists for Season's Screamings, and I want to shout out Pittsburgh Park Hopper on Etsy, or PGH Park Hopper. Now, they do a lot of cool, creepy, custom designs, and this season they're unveiling their Planter Para Pals. Now, what are these guys? We have Gillman right here. Again, I don't know. He's a creature. He might be from a lagoon that is black, but you use these guys to fancy up your plants. You're going to stick them right into that ficus to make it seem kind of monstrous and cool. So we've got all sorts of cool designs here. We've got Sasquatch, who's going to be maybe stomping through your palm fronds. We've got Krampus, Mothman. We've got a ghosty here, and of course, a UFO that is abducting a poor cow. Sorry, little guy. So all of the Planter Parapals range from $10 to $18 depending on size and bundle. And I love these guys so much that Pittsburgh Park Hopper has agreed that using the code Talking Strange, you get 10% off of the purchase until the end of the year. Now, in addition to the Planter Parapals, Pittsburgh Park Hopper does some pretty sweet shades, and I'm digging these Ghostbusters sunglasses. You can also pick these up at Pittsburgh Park Hopper on Etsy.com, and that's PGH Park Hopper. And finally, this season's Screamings. Look, I gotta do a shameless plug. I'm gonna encourage you to head to SpookyNerdShop.com, where you can get a bunch of spooky nerd merchandise and designs that are designed by yours truly, including the spooky nerd hat. Cute little ghost with glasses on it. And you can pick up my Aloha Mothman, Aloha Sasquatch, and a lot of other Aloha and Tiki themed spooky items. So that's at SpookyNerdShop.com. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed all of these suggestions for the holiday gift guide, Seasons Screamings 2023. I think there's a lot of cool suggestions for you and the spooky nerd on your list. I'm Aaron Sagers, and don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the videos, and support the Talking Strange show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you check out your spooky material. And until next time, be merry, keep it weird, and stay spooky.